Hello everyone and welcome. Make a cup of your favorite drink and get comfortable because this is a wonderful time for news stories from Yellow Cat. Send your own stories in the comments below and maybe they'll be in our new video. Today, we have 3 amazing stories, so subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed yet, and let's get started. In the first story, stupid dude does not understand that this place does not have that person and such services are not provided. In the second story, this is not your property. You can't just build a gate to our yard for your convenience. In the third story, president of HOA demands fees for my property. The first story is, dude visits our property thinking it was a brothel. I'm not sure if this guy was entitled or just dumb, but here's the story. About 2 years ago, when I was 13, I was helping my mom manage our property, which we rent out to people. Now, keep in mind that I was 13 at the time, so I didn't exactly have the smarts to do the actual managing. I'm just a translator/helper for cleanup. Anyways, this one day, my mom, dad, and I arrived at our old house, which we were renting out. I'm not exactly sure how to explain this. Imagine a hotel, except instead of hotel rooms, we have 2 houses and 2 apartment flats. All of these were in separate places for cleanup. Then this dude walks in with his friend driving a bright red car and walks up to us. Guess what he said? Jig jig? Yeah, I couldn't believe it either. You'd say something like that to a 13-year-old. Now, I do look a lot older than I actually am, so whilst I'm 15 now, I look about 17 to 18-ish. Now, for those who are unfamiliar with the term jig jig, it basically means S intercourse. And now, you're probably wondering how I knew the term. Well, I didn't, but given the context and the gesture he made whilst saying that, I had a pretty good guess. Regardless, he turned up to the property and asked to have S with the inhabitant, who was no longer there. Keep in mind that the previous inhabitant was using our property as an illegal brothel, which the police notified my family about. Well, they notified me since my mom's English was close to non-existent, so we promptly kicked her out. Anyways, this dude was looking for the exact same girl that was kicked out a day ago, and I told him that the person he was looking for was no longer here. Me. Sorry, the girl you're looking for? Yeah, she's gone. Dumb entitled guy. What do you mean? Me. I mean that she no longer lives here. This is my family's property, see, and she left yesterday. We're here for cleanup. DEG. So where is she? Me. How am I meant to know? All I know is that she's no longer here. DEG. Right, yeah, but she texted me this morning telling me to come to this address, so where is she? By this point, I was pretty confused. The girl was kicked out a day ago, and she was still texting guys to hook up with them? So I said, I don't know why she would tell you to come to this address, seeing as she left yesterday, but I can't tell you where she is because I don't have that information. DEG. I did not drive here for hours to be greeted with this. Either tell me where she is, or pay me for my troubles. Okay, so first you ask me for information we don't have, and now you're asking me to pay you? Me. Why do you want me to pay you? Okay, look, I'll tell you everything I know. This girl you're looking for? She was using our property as an illegal brothel, so we kicked her out. Where she is, or what she's doing right now? I have no idea. DG. Okay. Do I look like I care that she was using this place as an illegal brothel? I'm not a cop. Me. Yeah, I can see that, judging from your lack of uniform. But I'm saying if we didn't kick her out, we would have gotten in trouble with the cops. DEG. I don't care. I'm not a cop. Where is she? Me. I don't know. I can't give you information I don't have. DEG. I understand that, but I need to know where she is so I can confront her about this. Me. What do you want me to do about it? I don't know where she is. You want to know her location? Best bet is to ask the cops. DEG. I'm not asking the cops for her location. I'm asking you. Is this guy dumb or insane? He's asking the same question again and expecting a different answer each time. Me. But I don't know where she is, which is why I'm directing you to the cops so that you can have a better chance of finding her. If she scammed you out of your time, report it to the cops. DEG. I'm not reporting something as little as this to the cops. They won't care anyway. Tell me where she is, or I'm going to sue you. I asked the neighbors, and they confirmed that this place is still a brothel. Me. The neighbors can say what they want. They don't know anything. I'm telling you right here, right now, that this place is no longer an illegal brothel, and the person you're looking for has already moved out. Now, he didn't actually say that he was going to sue us, but it was implied in his tone. Also, by this point, I was getting really impatient, which was actually really out of character for me, because I usually would have lost my temper when he asked the same question a second time. Luckily, before I could yell out a string of various different curse words in various different languages, I can curse in English, Mandarin, Japanese, French, German, and Russian, his friend stepped in, apologized for DEG's behavior, and led him back into the car, saying that they'll ask others. They drove off, and when they passed the house again, DEG made a friendly gesture to me as if he didn't just threaten to sue me and my family. That's when I lost it. I screamed profanities into the air, punching and kicking the wall next to me, which was made out of brick and mortar, with all the strength that I had and generally being a problem child. What can I say? I'm just the translator. Alright, after the third time he asks you, here's what you do. You lead him on a wild goose chase to somewhere like a Dollar General in Utah or something like that. And then he'll either go off looking, or he'll realize that that's really far away, and he'll just let it go. However, given this guy's stubbornness, he'll probably go looking. Problem solved. The second story is, I am entitled to your backyard. In addition, this happened a while back, and I was not present for the majority of the convos, so I will just tell from memory. Context. My father inherited an older house from my grandparents after my grandmother died, and my grandfather started to have nothing to do. After they moved in, neighborhoods began to pop up around the house, and most of the new neighbors were really nice, but my closest neighbors are very entitled. So my house is a medium-sized house, but we have a 2-acre backyard. On multiple occasions, people have asked to use our backyard for storage, but they were nice people and we did not really mind. But as more houses began to pop up around our backyard, people began to suddenly feel attached to our backyard as if it was their own. They began to have picnics and photo shoots in our backyard. This made us angry, but after we asked them to stop, they would for a while. But there was an old lady that was an exception. This old lady was known around the neighborhood for sleeping around to get her way, so we already knew she was pretty crazy. EL asked us to store some gardening tools in our backyard, but there was still some land that was hers on her side of the property line following her fence, so we allowed it. But repeatedly, the tools kept piling onto our side. We repeatedly asked her to keep it on her side, but the problem would only be fixed for about 2 weeks before she did it again. This aggravated us, but not to the point to make a huge fuss, but things changed very quickly. One day, EL asked if she could make a gate adding to her existing small fence to our backyard. When we asked why, EL said, "My dogs don't like pooping in our yard, so we need your yard. Plus, I like your yard." My father said, "Ma'am, this is not your property. You can't just build a gate to our yard for your convenience." "But I need it! I know you don't use all that huge yard you have. You need to share." "Ma'am, you are not building a gate to our yard. Now please get off my property before I call the police." After this, EL pouted and left, and she complied. No gate was built, but EL entitled behavior never stopped. Over the next couple of weeks, she complained about our tree, saying it was dying the rustic scenery and we needed to change it. It is our yard. We should not have to change it to her liking. We just shut her down and we thought that was it. Oh boy, were we wrong. The worst was yet to come. We had a tree bordering the property line, and one day EL came onto our property without warning to ask if she could hire workers to come through our backyard because hers was too small. My parents were not home, so we were naturally scared. In a panic, I called my mom to tell her a woman was at the door, and we did not know what to do. My mom told me to tell EL to get off of the property, and my father would call her. After some convo, we complied, and she said the work would be done in about a week. She did not tell us when they would start working. We have dogs and they are very protective, so we needed to know when they would come so we could put them in the kennel. Now, that weekend, I had to be in Alabama for a wrestling tournament. We had finished the wrestling tournament and started the 8-hour drive back when my mom got a phone call. It was my sister. The conversation went like this. Mom, do you know that there are people in our backyard? What? Yeah, they have some tree trimming trucks and equipment. Should I put the dogs up? Yes, put them up now. I'll call you back. Now, my mom continues to call EL on speakerphone. EL, yes? Why is there trucks in my backyard? We talked about this. I told you I would have workers trim the trees on my side through your yard. You never told me they were coming today! Calm down. An old lady like me can take your screaming. You need to respect me. Warning, some cursing comes next. Respect you? All you have done is not effing respect us! You constantly use our yard as your own! You can't just yell at me. I am your neighbor, and you just can't expect to have such a huge backyard and someone not want you to share it. You need to share it. It's my effing backyard! Well, maybe just be a little nicer next time and remember to share. EL proceeded to talk about how she was an old lady and deserved respect. She also spoke about how since she has been a nice neighbor and she deserved to be spoken nice to and not yelled at. My mother quickly shut her down. Shortly after that, EL hung up on us. After this, my mom proceeded to tell my father of the events that just occurred. Now, my grandfather still lives with us and helps us from time to time. My father called him to see if he could arrange a fence being made. My grandfather also had enough and had the perfect plan. My grandfather found rusty pieces of tin sheets and only prettied up the side that would face us, leaving the entitled neighbor with a rusty tin fence facing their home. We put these up shortly after the tree trimming was finished. At least she got the rustic look she wanted, and we never heard from her again. I guess she got the memo. See, grandfather's got the right idea putting up a fence that looks crappy on their end, but good on your side. Now, let's just hope that they don't have an HOA or else they're gonna make a big stink about it. Oh, hey, speaking of HOAs. The third story, I am not even part of HOA. The fake HOA in our neighborhood started off as a friendly gesture, cheap $75 a year, cleared the roads, some spring dumpsters, a summer barbecue. Then the bored housewife, who had nothing better to do, became president of the HOA. They did elections, meetings, and of course, raised the HOA fee 200%. She talked about new street signs, new roads, sidewalls, and gates into the entrance of the neighborhood. Mind you, our home was the original property back in the 1940s. I assumed the owners sold off land for the homes around us. No common areas, neighborhood pool, park, trails, nothing. I refused to pay or be any part of the little HOA club. She called as I was past due on my HOA fees. I politely told her there is no HOA here, that is why we bought this home. She asked if we used the roads and I said, yes, of course. Her response was, well, you need to pay to use my roads. I told her, I do. It's called property tax. I asked her to never contact me again. Funny some participate in the HOA. They just put in $15,000 worth of stop signs. We have 5 intersections. She wants to resurface the over 1 mile road now. Good luck with that. I'll gladly be the one they hate who hangs her laundry out to dry. Do not buy in an HOA. Now that is a message I can get behind. Guys, thank you for all of the support and likes. Subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed yet. See you next time.